at Matero General Hospital, and then a woman who is pregnant comes to your labor ward with history of severe back pain since maybe 10 hours, somewhere there. Then you decide to do a vaginal examination, and then you find to say that the cervix is fully dilated, it's at 10 centimeters. So this woman is in what? Is in second stage of labor. So how do you manage this one? So that's what we are going to do now. So as usual, every management starts with aims. So we need to come up with our aim. So what is the aim of our management? Why are we managing this woman in the second stage of labor? So number one is to deliver a live baby. So the first aim is to deliver what? A live baby. Then the second aim is to provide emotional and psychological care to the woman. So remember, this woman may be delivering for the first time. So she needs that emotional and psychological guidance and care, because they might have heard a lot of things about labor. Say, oh, when you go to labor, there's this, there's that. So we need to offer what? Emotional and psychological care throughout the delivery process. Then the other aim is to prevent complications of the second stage of labor, such as fetal distress. So we've crossed our aim. So aims, you are allowed to write in point form. But for these other things like environment, emotional psychological care, you don't write in point form, but you write in what? In paragraph forms. So the next thing after you write your aims is environment. So environment. So environment. What about the environment? So where are you going to nurse this Mrs. Charwe? So remember, this woman is in second stage of labor. Anytime she is going to do what? To deliver. So under environment, this is where you say, upon confirming that Mrs. Charwe is in second stage of labor through vaginal examination, I will nurse her in the delivery room. I will nurse her in the delivery room, in which I would have already prepared all the necessary equipment, such as the resuscitator and the resuscitator, the oxygen machines, everything that's needed there should be there in the environment. So that's the environment. So this environment will be clean, well damp dusted, on a well-made bed to prevent infection and promote comfort. So you bring all those points under the environment. So environment, you nurse this woman in the delivery room. You read in the delivery room and not in the antenatal whatever. So it's in the delivery room. Then after you've done the environment, you go to the emotional psychological care. So upon you admit this woman in the delivery room, the next thing that you're going to do is offer emotional and psychological care. So tell her to say, everything, mama, is gonna be okay. We are doing everything possible so that you deliver this baby, or that. So this is where you offer emotional and psychological care. This is where again you explain what is expected of her. So mama, you explain. So I will explain to Mrs. Charwe that she needs to be resting between contractions. So she needs to be resting between contractions so that she can gain strength to push the baby during the next contraction. So you tell her to say, in between contractions, she needs to be taking a lot of breath and rest. She should not be pushing in between contractions. She is only supposed to push when the contraction starts. So you are offering emotional and psychological care. Then I'll also be encouraging Mrs. Charwe of how well she's doing by either maybe showing the progress of labor through a mirror. So you can offer a mirror where she sees herself, how she's doing, through a mirror. So that's So everything. So array anxiety, answer all any questions under the emotional or psychological care. Number 4, after you offer emotional and psychological care, is bladder care. So remember, for a woman to deliver, the bladder needs to be empty. So if the bladder is not empty, it obstructs the descending fetus. So it obstructs, the baby can't enter the pelvic cavity if the bladder is full. So the woman, so under bladder care, you need to tell the woman, so I will tell Mrs. Chare to pass urine so that the bladder is empty in order to prevent injury to the bladder and to facilitate descent of the baby, progress of the labor. So that's bladder care. So if Mrs. Charo is unable to pass urine on herself, I'll catheterize and drain the bladder of urine. So under bladder care, you are done. Then the next thing, you are going on observations. So observations, what are you going to be observing? So one, you're going to be observing the maternal well-being every after 15 minutes. So you check the blood pressure, the pulse, the temperature. So you check the TPR, BP, you check all those things every after 15 minutes. So this woman may be sweating a lot, she might lose a lot of blood in the process. So observing the blood pressure is going to be to guide you if she's in any form of shock, hypovolemic shock, or any kind of problem. So the vital sign is very important. Maternal well-being, you have to be monitoring every after 15 minutes. Then the fetal well-being. So every after each contractions, you have to check the fetal heart rate. So check the fetal heart rate every after each contraction. So this can be done by your assistant. So your assistant can be observing for you the what? The fetal heart rate after each contraction. This is going to help you detect if the baby is in what? In fetal distress. So remember, the fetal heart rate of the baby shouldn't be less than 100. At least it should be in between 120 to 180, 160, somewhere there. So anything less than 100, that's of serious concern. Anything less above 180, that's also of concern. Then the other thing that you're going to observe is the color of the liquor. So remember the liquor, we said that's the fluid that comes out, the amniotic fluid that comes out after the membranes have ruptured. So you have to check, is it meconium stained or is it blood stained? So if it is meconium stained, remember it means this baby might have been in what? Fetal distress. Might have been in fetal distress. So you need to put everything in place. The resuscitator, the everything, so that maybe this baby may not cry upon delivery, so that you can resuscitate this baby. So those are some of the things that you do under observations. Then number 6 is position. So this position, you actually even the position. So the position, it's you, the attending midwife, and the delivering mother who are going to agree on what position this woman is going to adopt. So there are a lot of delivery positions. We have the squatting position, the thoracotomy position, dorsal position, all those. Kneeling position. So choosing the delivery position is going to be dependent on your experience, how confident you, the midwife, is. Are you able to deliver if the woman is in a squatting position? So the squatting position has more advantage to the woman than the midwife. So the mother may deliver fast, but there may be ulcerations. There may be ulcerations. So that's under position. So under position, I will discuss with Mrs. Charwe on the appropriate delivery position that we are going to adopt in this delivery process. You talk about. Then number 7 is hygiene and infection prevention. So you're managing this woman in second stage of labor. She's in the delivery room. So under hygiene and infection prevention, number 1 is you clean the vulva so that when the baby comes out, the baby doesn't get contaminated in any way or doesn't get that risk of infection. So you clean the vulva with a sterile cotton wool. So after the linen is soiled, you change that. So the woman is likely to pass stool. The woman is likely to urinate on the bed. So after that, after they are contaminated, you change the linen. So you also wipe the face of the woman when she has sweat, so that you promote comfort and also to prevent all sorts of infection. Then the other thing is you need to be pressing the sterile cotton wool on the perineum, so that when the baby comes out, the baby doesn't find itself contaminated with stool. So the last thing now is delivery of the baby, which is number 8, delivery of the baby. So that's the last thing that you write in your management of second stage of labor. After you write all those other things, the last thing is what? Delivery of the baby. So number 1, how do you deliver a baby? So you support the perineum with a sterile cotton wool, just like you've said before. So remember, management, you don't write it in point form, but you write it what? In paragraphs. So you support the perineum with a sterile cotton wool. So this helps to prevent tears. So you support the perineum. Then, so remember, the other thing that we need to do is to discuss the mechanism of normal labor, the mechanism of normal labor. So the head, once the baby has crowned, so once you see the head of the baby on the vulva there, it is going to be delivered by extension, by the movement of what? Extension. So once the head has been delivered by extension, the first thing that you're going to do is get your hand with, remember by this time you're already in your sterile cuffs, feel for the cord around the baby's neck, feel for the cord. So if it is very tight, try to unlock it from the baby's neck. If it is too tight, you are unable to do that, clamp it on 2 separate parts and then cut it and then loosen it. And then you loosen it. So you bring all these points to say, I'll support the perineum with a sterile cotton wool to prevent lacerations. Then, once the head has been delivered by extension, I will feel for the cord around the neck. And if it is tight, I'll loosen it to prevent choking. If I'm unable to loosen it, I'll clamp it on 2 different parts and cut in between and then loosen it. Then after that, I will deliver the anterior shoulder by downward traction. Then you press the baby. I will then press the baby on the mother's abdomen. So then I will tell the mother to identify the sex of the what? Of the baby. To identify the sex of the baby. Then I will note the time of delivery and the APGAR score. And then I will dry the baby. I will palpate the abdomen to exclude the second baby. Then I will do what? I will give oxytocin 10 international units IM to aid in uterine contractions. Means you are done with the second stage of labor management. Hope this lecture has been helpful. Yeah, and I am to upload more videos of this nature. So you can inbox me or contact me to tell me where you feel like you are not clear. I'll help just like that. And for additions, you can drop them in the comments section.